y'all? It's your girl V Lee, and you are tuned into another episode of Split Image, where we bring hidden personas to the forefront. Today's episode is extremely educational, okay? Our guest today is a workaholic. I mean, he got his own show, media personality. He an author. Goddamn. HIV advocate. Need I say more?
Listen.
What's up, Janari?
What's good, V? Yo, I'm sitting here with V. So, Mama, I made it.
How you been, though?
I'm good. Listen, hustling.
Every time I see your Instagram feed, you this place, that place, I can't keep up.
Listen, I'm trying to keep up with myself. I always tell people, of course, from a small place, and I think that's where the hustle started, because it's like you don't see where you want to go. So you see things through social media, or you meet people that has gone where you want to go, and it's just like, yo, like I know nothing but hustle until I get where I want to go. So I ain't slowing down no time soon. But
listen, I don't know what's in the Carolina water, but it seems like everybody from the Carolinas be hustling, like on their shit.
Definitely. And then like so many successful entertainers or just entrepreneurs from the Carolinas.
But some of them be scared to rep they from the Carolinas though. Yo, I feel like, come on, y'all doing too much.
Not some, a lot. I be like, damn, you from...
Wouldn't even know.
Listen, I'm from South Carolina, King Street, stand up. Like, you have to put it out there so that people behind you can get that push or that, encouragement that you didn't have. So that's really it.
So how was it growing up in a small town?
Man, it has pros and cons. You have to find your niche. You got to find, what makes you, because of course, small town, they're going to have the educators, they're going to have doctors, but you don't have like those comedians or those people that's into entertainment or just out of the norm. You're not going to find that. So you really just have to hustle. But growing up, I grew up in a one-parent household. My dad died when I was 8. So my mom...
I never knew that.
Really? Yeah, my dad died when I was 8. I'm the oldest. I was 8. My sister was 2. My brother was 1. And my mom found out that she was pregnant when my dad died.
Dang.
So it was like, I really had to grow up fast to help my mom. Then as a black male in the family, that was hard. Then, a black male that like males that grow up in a family of Christianity in a small town where they judge and not going to educate themselves on things.
Yeah.
Like, it just was a lot.
So basically, you was like the man of the house, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely at 8. I mean, learning, cooking, cleaning, changing Pampers. Like, it was a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. And I'm the oldest too, and it's people don't be realizing like the oldest. You really like. For me, I had my stepdad and my mom, but at the same time, like both of them was working, so it was like I was another parent as well.
Right.
That's a lot of pressure.
Definitely.
They don't realize it though. Didn't you move though?
Yeah, so I moved to Charlotte in 2016. And what actually pushed the move was I'm sure we're gonna get into it, was I found out that I had HIV when I was freshly I just graduated from Francis Marion, FMU, stand up. Woo.
Okay.
I went to listen, that school is hard to get out but easy to get in. But so many parts of my life taught me how to hustle and how to just keep going when things get tough. Again, moving to Charlotte, I was freshly out of college, freshly dealing with my diagnosis. My family didn't know, so I was battling that by myself. Moved to Charlotte. I was living on my family and some friends' couch for like 6 months plus, trying to find my way. Even while doing my talk show, during the day, 9 to 5, right afterwards, starting my talk show, right after that, going to somebody's couch, not even going to get comfortable somewhere, but, going there. That's when I, found like, like talking and really my talk show is really what keeps me sane or kept me sane. And I was like, I really like this.
Right.
Like, I really like interviewing and having conversations with people because, like, I'm learning. And I started my talk show to inspire, empower, and motivate people. But it really was to motivate, inspire, and do it to, I was talking to myself.
Yeah.
So
that's how I feel. Like, really, that's how I feel now. And I'm kind of nervous sitting here interviewing you because it's like, I'm comfortable with myself, of course. But, like, to get in front of the camera and other people, I'd be like, So what,
Listen,
like,
we can't tell.
I mean, I try to hide it. So when you was first starting off, I mean, of course you had your obstacles or whatever,
Yes.
but how was your journey with the talk show thing?
It was good. I moved the same day I moved to Charlotte. I interviewed Michelle Williams, from Destiny Childs.
Okay.
Yes. A week later, I interviewed David Banner, and from there, it just was like people were seeing that, yo, this dude, he consistent.
Right.
This dude really like this, and I started just networking, and from there it was up. Like I saw where I wanted to go. I saw where I was at, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna get to where I want to go somehow. I don't know. I don't have no blueprint. I'm just going as it go, and it was up from there. Candy. I started doing influencers, and from there it was like reality influencers, reality stars, influencers, celebrities, artists. Like it was just going up. So I was like, all right, like this is it.
All you got to really have is the faith of a mustard seed. People don't make me start preaching in here. That's all you need.
Like,
and the power of networking, because you get in the right circles. Sometimes your talent don't even be up to par, but because you got those connections, it's so much easier to maneuver and
preach.
Stuff. Yep.
Preach. So definitely that, and like building connections. You know, people will see me out that was already doing media in Charlotte, and I was like, oh, you the new dude on the block. I'm like,
they only gave you a name.
I've been here for like 3 weeks, a month. You know, I'm just like, yeah. So when they started really reaching out to me to come to their events or to cover their events or even sending me their clients, I'm like, okay, Genario. Yes, Genario Scott. That's me, Genario Scott.
Put some respect over there.
Listen, put some respect on my name.
So when you first started off, of course, you know, some people, they'll start off doing things for free or whatever just to get their feet wet.
Definitely free. To this day, I'm still doing stuff for free. Like, I just tell people all the time, your character, your personality will take you further than money. Once you go into these places, be your authentic self, put your all, the money gonna come. Do everything I do is free? No. But you gotta play your cards as an entrepreneur, especially starting off. You can't be always looking for money. Yeah. Because that money, they're gonna be like, this money, you're not gonna get this opportunity.
Right. I even started bartering. Like, I mean, I always used to barter, especially like when I was doing hair and stuff. But when like I'll trade somebody, okay, you promote this, I promote this, like let's work together. Everything really ain't about money. You got to build those relationships.
Charlotte was definitely the best thing that best thing starting off.
Okay. And where you went to after Charlotte?
Then I stayed in Charlotte for 1.5 years, 2 years. Then I moved to Baltimore. And
Baltimore.
Listen, I moved to Baltimore. That was definitely
different.
A difference. Like the environment. Baltimore set me up for Atlanta.
So what took you to Baltimore though?
So I moved to Charlotte. So, everything was going good, y'all. Everything was going good. But I was still homeless. Still didn't have my own. Didn't have no money for rent because I was working at Hollister for like the seasonal. I was finding everything. I just kept finding seasonal jobs, temporary jobs, and I just was like, yo, like media wise, you just look at me and was like, yo, Genario is really, man. Reality, Genario was trying to make it. Like Genario was trying to make it. So my cousin, Monica, shout out to Monica Johnson, my cousin. Listen, traveling nurse at the time, and she moved to Baltimore for an assignment. Was only supposed to be there for 6 months, turned into 1.5 years, 2 years. I said her name because she knew, what I was going through, and I was like, yo, like Charlotte, is popping. I'm interviewing people left and right, not getting paid, but again, I was just starting off, so I was just like, I just need to show the consistency. But rent wasn't getting paid, car insurance didn't get paid. I was hiding my car, like trying not to get repossessed because I needed transportation. Like I can hit my mom and ask for gas money and stuff like that, but for rent, when people already like it was just a lot. So I moved to Baltimore, and just for like really a break, and that 6-month break turned into a whole year and a half break, and I felt like I was losing myself because media was like my life. Media was my everything. Because again, I was still dealing with internally,
Well,
living with HIV. Like I was still dealing with that. So it's like doing that, trying to make sure my health is good, trying not to freak out, trying to educate myself at the same time. Like it just was a lot. So Baltimore was the move. Stayed there. Didn't do any media. I started feeling like a fish out of water. Like I was like, yo, I'm suffocating. Like
yeah.
life here in
So you
Baltimore
really didn't
just
do any
nothing.
media? And, okay.
Nothing. I did one when I met John Singleton at FX Snowfall.
Okay.
So that was the only thing I did there, and that was like 7 months in at the time.
Dang, yeah, that was
So
a
I just
hard
was
one.
Monica girl, thank you, but
yeah,
baby, I'm suffocating.
But we, sometimes we got to go through times like that to bring us back to where we need to be. Like you got to really fall.
Baby, I fell.
Yeah. So I want to go back to when you found out that you was HIV positive.
So I was talking to this dude at the time. I was again in college, undergrad, about to graduate. I graduated December 2014.
Oh, we graduated the same year. Okay.
Yes, yo. I found out that I was positive in March 2015. So what, 3 months? January, February. Yeah, 3 months after graduating from undergrad, I found out. And the reason I found out was it was, the weather was changing or whatever. I had just started working at Assurant. And I was like, okay, my life, this ain't what I want to do right after college, but hey, I need the money.
Yeah.
So I was working there, and I have bad allergies, like mosquito bites. Like if I get, I start really breaking out. So I was breaking out on my legs. It started on my legs, breaking out like hives of mosquito bites looking. And I was like, okay. So I told my job, I was like, I know this is a new office, but can y'all like spray? So they sprayed like 3 times, and I was still like breaking out, and it was spraying. So I'm like, all right. Before that, I was going to the doctor every 6 months anyway, just something I always did growing up.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm healthy, so like what's going on? They was like, Generio, we done sprayed 3 times. Like
you get on our nerves.
You get on our nerves. There ain't nothing in here. You new coming in, demanding stuff. So I was laying in the bed one day, and this commercial came on about getting tested. And so then I went to Google, and it was so crazy because I saw the commercial, and as soon as I went on to go to Facebook on my phone,
something popped up.
It popped up the same thing, and I'm like, that's crazy. So I went to sleep that night. I went to sleep, dreamed that I went and got tested. Everything was positive. Not positive. Everything was good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. A week later, testing just was on my mind. Get test. I'm like, what?
Signs be real.
So the dude I was talking to, he lived in Florence, and I was like, yo, I ain't gonna go to work today. I'm gonna call out. Like, take me to the clinic. Let's find a clinic. Let's go get tested. Like I saw this on my mind. He was like, nah, no. You're like, I'm good. Or you could go. You just started this job. You can't be missing bunk this. Like
so he was making excuses.
Right. So I'm like, all right. So 2 days later, I called out of work. He was like, you're not going to work? Nah, because I stayed with him because, right there.
Right.
So I was like, yo, I'm calling out of work. I'm not going. So he was, all right, I'll take you. I'm like, oh, so
now you
want to take me. All right, so let's go. So I went there just while I was waiting, reading up the magazines. And they called me to the back, did the whole process. So the dude, at the time, a male tested me, and he was like, all right, same thing I do at my job. All right, so, if it's negative, this is what we're going to do. I mean, this is what you do. If it's positive, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to get you started now. So did the test, finger prick, waited like 2 minutes. So he looked at me, and he was like, all right, so your test is positive. So I'm like,
I know
I'm 24 years old. Like, what you saying is positive. Again, they don't teach us much about your sexual health, especially in school. They just teach you about being abstinent.
Right.
So when he said I was positive, I was like, okay. He was like, I'm gonna give you some time.
He left out.
Just me. I'm like, oh yeah, this got to be a joke. Like,
yeah.
He walked back in. He was like, you good? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right, so this is the paperwork to sign. When he was sliding the paperwork to me, I was like, hold up, like, sir, you serious?
Yeah.
I just bust. That shit was crazy. I was like, so I'm positive. What do you mean that I'm positive? So he broke it down. So this test says that it's the antibodies, meaning that, we're going to do another test. You're HIV positive. I'm like, how could this happen? Like,
right.
I'm only talking to one person. All that I know, they only talking to me. I'm just like, so he started educating me. He was like, all right, so I'm going to give you some more time. He walked out. I just was like, it was just hysterical. Like, my life flashed in front of him. I'm like, yo, I just graduated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell my mom. I'm living in my mama house. Like, I don't have nothing for myself. Like, what's going on? When he came back in, did the paperwork, walked me across the street to the actual provider, and it was crazy. I had to go, and then the bad thing about it, the dude took me there, so I had to get myself together before I walk out in front of people out there.
Yeah.
So I got in the car, and I was quiet. He was like, so what's? I was like, and I'm not a good liar, so
yeah.
I just was like, yo, I know you about to stop talking to me. I know you probably think that I'm just this crazy hoe out here, doing the wild, but
so you was blaming yourself, but how did you know it wasn't him?
Right, and that's the thing I didn't know. So when I told him, I was like, you need to go get tested. He was like, no, we can just worry about you right now. I'll go later.
Wait a minute.
Should have been a flag, but it wasn't a flag.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wasn't a flag. He was like, you want to go get some food? Nah, take me to my car. I went home. I went to my car. I didn't talk to him for 2 days on the phone, but I was texting him like, yo, did you get test? Did you get tested? No. So a week later, when we had an argument, he was like, oh, I got tested and my it came back positive. I didn't want to tell you this and all this bullshit. At the time, it was bullshit. I'm just like, so now you're trying to make me feel bad? That, like, bro. But going back to that day I found out, as soon as I got home, y'all, I went and told my mom, like, Mom, we gotta talk. Cause if I'm gonna be living if I'm gonna be living in this lady house, don't know if I'm about to die, don't know how I'm about to be, physically and mentally and all this affected. Like, and we had a trampoline outside. I was like, Mom, can you come outside? Let's go by the trampoline. She was like, what? And she saw it on my face. I was like, just go outside. And I just was like, yo, like, I didn't go to work today. I went to the clinic, got tested. They said that I'm HIV positive. And just to see in her face, like, the hurt and the confusion, but then I saw she snapped back and was like, being raised in church and, being religious, she was like, we got this. She was like, we gonna pray. We gonna do whatever we gotta do. You gonna get through this. And, at that time, that's what I needed.
I was just about to ask you
She
that.
wasn't educated on HIV. She was worried and sick herself mentally, like, like my son.
It don't matter what you do, you can always be your mama baby.
Listen.
So it's like you needed that at that time because you probably would have went crazy.
Probably. Whoo.
Yeah.
That 45, 30-minute drive, that was the longest drive ever going home. But I just was like, I just had to do it. Knowing for me to be my normal self in the house. Still, my siblings, they was in high school and stuff, but it's just like.
But y'all didn't tell them right at the time.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't, because I just was like, I'm still trying to get, to get this. And I remember, crazy, the same night, my little brother accidentally used my toothbrush. So I was going crazy.
Yeah.
Brother got HIV. He done brushed his teeth with my toothbrush. So I'm about to kill my brother. Like, I was going crazy.
Man, I want to talk about that because people got so many misconceptions about how how you contract it. Like, I done heard people talking about, oh no, you can get it out the toilet. Like, what?
Baby, if you get that out the toilet, then you can get so many stuff.
What are you talking about right now?
No. So my mom, we was blowing the doctor phone up. Like, because again, my mom, she They didn't know. They wasn't educated. So, shoot, she like, shoot, you probably can. You know? So we blowing, just calling. And just, you know, that's when I started educating myself. That's when I started being an advocate, but being an advocate for myself first. Because I was like, I got to live. I got to first see myself through.
I know Florence is small, but when you got your results, I know it was probably all kind of thoughts like, oh, the people at the hospital going, oh, my business going to be out there. I know all of that was going through. Man, it was,
yes.
Technically, they ain't supposed to leak that kind of information, but did it ever come, like, did...
Nope.
But that's good. That's good. At least we know that the healthcare system worth something.
I was like, okay. So, no, they didn't. And you know I was worried about that. I was like,
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I even asked her. I was like, so people back home, doctors or clinics back home, are y'all gonna send a message to them? Because my address says King Street. I was like, yo, like this just can't be so. But again, it didn't happen. So yeah.
Not until you wanted it to. Anyway.
Right.
Yep. I had a couple of scares. Okay, so I went through a little whole phase. I think every girl done went through a whole phase.
Everybody.
I'm just being real.
Shoot.
But so I wasn't sleeping with multiple people at the same time, but it was like back to back, you know? And I was using protection with the people, but it's like in the back of my mind, I was still like, damn, I hope I don't catch nothing because I started thinking like, okay, guys like giving head or whatever, but what if you just ate somebody out and then you come and eat me out, then I got their bacteria mixed with your bacteria, which like those thoughts used to be running through my head, but I couldn't even understand like why, if you know this stuff, why you still interacting? And it's like when I don't know if it was a heartbreak making me go through that, but I don't know.
I think, you know, we do at the times that, you know, emotions, like our emotions take the best of us and we just try to find outlets to like get over it. But I think everybody have gone through that. Shoot, I've gone through it. I was going through learning that this new diagnosis, but even mentally I'm like, shoot, why should I care? Or it go like, I thought this person loved me. You know, people go to finding love in other ways. So,
but that was the person that gave it
right.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I spoke to this person last year. That was my first time speaking to them since 2016. I cut it off. Then I found out, I walked up to them, talked to somebody else, and they just fanned me off. Like it was a whole, y'all.
Wow.
Like that person put me through a lot. So that, again, moving to Charlotte, I was just leaving everything behind. But even when I spoke with them last year, they was trying to say that, again, Gennario, you caught, so we still playing this.
Yeah.
I don't have the time for that, yo. I was like, bro, I just wish you the best. I was like, oh, you a big time celebrity and this. Like,
it ain't even about that.
Even about that, bro. Like, I hope you good, and I hope you're not out here still
doing what you're doing.
You know, doing what you do.
But ain't that a crime? Ain't that considered?
That's a crime. Yep, that's a crime. If you out here, you know, passing diseases around, passing HIV around, and if someone can, like, hey, this is the time I found out that I caught HIV. This is the time that we were talking.
Yeah.
You didn't disclose to me your status. Yeah. That's time.
Yeah, because
you just gotta make sure you got your receipts.
That's some serious stuff. You mentioned earlier about your job. You still work at where you?
So right now, I'm at 8 Atlanta, which is downtown Atlanta. We do free HIV STD testing and treatment. And education. I'm the community testing coordinator, so I'm out in the community, creating testing events, going to testing events, educating people about HIV and STDs. We also have a clinic side for individuals that are living with HIV, where they can come get their medications monthly, where every 3 months they come to do their checkup to make sure that their medication isn't affecting their lungs, kidney, livers, their bone marrow. And we also help with like housing with individuals,
medical
care, counseling, and just everything that you need to survive.
Cause okay, so when I was working at the jail, I remember Ada Atlanta came out, and so that's how I started going there. Cause I'm like, oh shit, free for the free ski. Oh, I'm there, and so the first time I went, like I ain't gonna tell you no lie, I go get tested like every 3 months, but every time I go, I be so nervous, and it's like, okay, I only been sleeping with one person for the last couple of years, but it's like. You just don't know. You never know what that person could be doing. Right. So yeah, I be nervous every time.
Listen, I tell people all the time, listen, you gotta put your, if I ain't learned nothing else, you gotta put your health first. And you just gotta put yourself first. Yes, you love this person or you trust this person, but you just can't never give someone too much trust, because you just don't know. Like, people want this nut. People want the nut.
They want the nut.
They want the nut. So, I mean, they're not going to say, hey, I got chlamydia. Hey, I got gonorrhea. Hey, I got herpes. They're not going to say that.
Yeah.
They're seeing, I got to relieve this nut. That's all.
You know how people, you get high and you got your fix. Like,
right,
like,
for real.
That's how people be feeling.
When people come in and I test them and they begin to tell me, hey, I'm married. I've been married for 10 years, but I'm coming to get tested. I'm like, you got to.
Yeah.
Like, you have to. And I got to tell people, getting tested off how many partners you have. If you have 1, 2 max partners, every 3 months. But if you got multiple partners, hey, it's free. Find that clinic. Because it takes 30 days for HIV, 30 plus days for HIV to really show up in your bloodstream. Mm-hmm. So I already tell people, if you have sex tonight, give it 3 weeks most before you come in to get tested. And STD, you get an STD within 24 hours of having sex. So STD, you gonna know if you got an STD most of the time. But when it comes to getting tested, definitely 3 months. Every 3 months.
And that's what I try to keep up with it every 3 months.
Even when I go, I still be scared, because you just don't, man. Your health, you just don't know. Even though I'm undetectable, which is, as long as I continue to take my medication, which is a pill a day, I will remain undetectable. And it just means that every 3 months when I go get tested, that the viral loads are so low that I can't pass HIV to no one, because it's not showing up as strong or really barely in my blood. So
it's almost like a cure.
Mm-hmm.
Without being,
Right, yeah. So I tell people, when I have to tell people that they are positive, or when I do come into contact with people that's positive or know that they're positive, I'll be like, yo, just try to get to that undetectable.
Okay.
Try to get to undetectable, because we got this thing, undetectable means untransmittable. So,
okay.
Like, if you there, you good.
So when you undetectable, do you still have to disclose that to your partner?
Yeah. Because at any time, if you're not taking care of yourself, and if you're not taking your medication, you can jump out of that undetectable and back into strictly HIV.
Right.
Definitely, like I said, if you're taking care of yourself and taking your medicine like you're supposed to, you should be fine. But yeah, still disclose.
I'm trying to still sit here and think about how, like, if I had to tell my family, because sometimes your family could just be so judgmental, and it's like, in a time like that, you don't need that negative energy.
Let me tell y'all, I found out in 2015, the only person I told was my mom. I would say like a month later, I told my godmom. No, I told both of my godmoms, and somehow my sister found out. I don't know. Sometime within the first 6 months, she found out. I don't know how, but those are only people since finding out that knew.
Your sister and no one ain't gonna say nothing,
right? Yeah. And I didn't want to freak people out. I didn't, people in the stigma, like I didn't want to lose people that was close to me. So it was like I just kept my mouth closed. And nobody knew. I mean, I wore that thing. Listen, I wore that thing well.
So you say you didn't want to lose people that was close to you, and it's crazy that you even got to think like that, because it's like if you really for me and you really love me, then that type of situation, I mean, that wouldn't even matter. But They used to scare us back in the day.
Right.
Or once you got HIV,
You
you dead. So
And-
it's like
right. And then another thing was when people think about HIV, they automatically think about AIDS. So that it just was like before I come out with my status, which I don't have to, but before I come out to anyone with my status, I was like I had to do my own research. I had to educate myself because I already knew that people were gonna come out with that. Oh, I'm worried about you, checking on you like you about to die. Like it's just so I had to for myself learn the difference between HIV and AIDS because I was like, bitch, if I got HIV, I got AIDS. I'm about to die. But after educating myself, it was like.
But like you said, you really got to educate yourself because once I used to hear, I was like, oh, they got AIDS.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah, it's the ignorance.
Right. And I was like, for me, I know if somebody was to say that they had HIV, I was gonna be like, oh, this bitch got AIDS. This bitch about to, like, bitch, what you was doing?
Yeah.
So actually having to embodying that, it was like, yeah.
And people automatically assume that you was just fucking around.
Automatically.
Like, they automatically, I don't know what it is, but they just automatically assume you was fucking Tom, Dick, Harry, and some
everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. Or they think that you want them. Like,
come on with the bullshit.
Come on, bro. So when I came out with, last year, when I came out with my commercial, I Am Not HIV, it was like, I was like, all right. I'd have been working in the field for a good time. I'm educated. Like, if anybody come at me with any bullshit, like, I'm cutting it down. Like, I'm going to help bring this, in the stigma. And then what really pushed me to, like, come out with my status was because I was coming, like, at my job, like, having to tell young, old, gay, straight, bi, like, having to tell these different individuals that also live different lifestyles that they're positive. It just was like, and just seeing how sometimes people would be like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself when I leave here, or calling people like it just was like, yo, I gotta do something for my community. If I gotta put myself out there to help educate someone or help push someone to not kill themselves, but to let them know that, yo, you can still live, like, I'm gonna do it.
You can influence somebody and don't even know you influence them.
Right.
But you be they savior and what they needed, because like you said, like, you do got some people that they find that out and they go home and they do commit suicide.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember I told this dude that he was positive and he actually went home and tried to, like, they contacted us and it was like, yo, like, yeah, like, I can't have nobody doing that on my watch. Even though if I don't even know you, like, it's just like you can make it. So that's why I really put myself out there. Well, I tried,
because you posted your status. How long ago that was? I know it was over a year ago.
Yeah, like a year and 3 months. A year and 3 months ago. Yeah. So it was like, yeah, I gotta do it. Got to.
I know that took a lot of courage, especially.
Man, I prayed, I fasted because I was like, this is one that I wanted to do it for the longest, but I was like, God, give me that way of how to do it. Like, if I'm gonna do this, like, I don't want it to just be like, oh, hey y'all, Gennario just posted that he got HIV. Like, I want it to be impactful.
Right.
I want it to be educational, and I don't want to be looked at, as a diseased person. So I just really had to be strategic of how I did it. So I prayed, I fasted, and God came up, was like, yo, he's just started connecting dots, like creative director, photographers, videographers. Like, he just started bringing them and connecting. And I was like, okay. And I remember when I was sleeping and he woke me out of my sleep and gave me the idea for the commercial. Like, I'm not HIV. I'm a brother. I'm a son. I'm a author. Also, I don't want people to, I don't also want it to be towards HIV, but people that's living with cancer, like, I'm not cancer. Like, I'm still like, so I want it to be something that could be ongoing.
Did you get more support than you expected?
I did. I did. And that was like, okay.
Confirmation.
All right. Yeah, like, okay, I did it. But before I came out, again, my family didn't know.
Oh, I bet they was calling your mama like crazy.
Girl, calling, like, I had people like, why you didn't? I had my uncle, for one, it was like, why you didn't tell us? Like, that's not something that you just like. I already know that y'all not educated on it.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure that when I come, like,
You coming
because
with
I already
some
know
facts.
what people were gonna say.
Yeah.
And I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me because you didn't know for this long, and I've been living my life. So it just was like.
But I think that's human nature though. Like it's like you would tell somebody something, they just it's automatically in us to just feel sorry.
Right.
You have to actually tell somebody, I don't need no pity. Like, don't treat me like no baby.
Okay, I'm not. Bitch, you still pitying me. Like, dang. Just erase that. Shoot. But yeah, so doing that, the crazy thing was my brothers didn't know. And I thought, y'all, for the longest I thought my brothers knew. My mom was like, well, did you tell your brother? Because I told I was like, y'all, well, I told my mom and my sister, I was like, all right, so I'm about to come out with this commercial. Like, you know, I'm telling my brothers, like, I'm about to come out with the commercial.
But they didn't know what.
That,
yeah.
Right. The night before, I actually was about to launch the campaign, you know, producers, everybody like, all right, we in. I called, my mom was like, hey, did you tell your brothers?
What?
Did I tell my brothers? I'm like, they know. Well, you know, me and your sister ain't never told them. So, y'all, I started panicking, like, oh, shit. Like, my brothers, like,
yeah.
you know, like, I don't want, and then the thing, I didn't even want my people to look at my family, like, you know, because people can do that. Like,
yeah,
they can put your shit on your family. So I didn't want nobody looking at my mom like, oh, your son got a disease, or, you know, your son, like my brothers, my younger siblings, I didn't want nobody looking at them or judging them for me. And it just was like, oh, shoot. So I had to call my brothers, and they wasn't good on phones. Like, dang, y'all, answer your phone. Like, I'm blowing them up, not sleeping, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm still waiting, like, hey, y'all up? Like, because in a couple of hours, this shit about to be out there. But my brother, I called him, and it was like, they finally answered, and it was like, bro, whatever you want to do. Like, we here.
That's the type of support system you need, though.
That was all. It was after that, bitch. Let me put it out right now. But it was definitely.
So the first campaign was a good one. It went well.
Hey, yo.
And so, what was the next thing you did after that?
I just kept embracing more of being HIV advocate. So putting more out there about HIV, which I'm doing. I'm in the works and still working on that. But I did more speaking engagement related to HIV and HIV awareness. I'm a part of this men engagement network at my job, which we are always in the community, assisting individuals, getting them back into care, you know, just anything to end the stigma and to end the spread of HIV.
You know what I've been thinking about this whole time? You moved here to Atlanta, and you know they say Atlanta got like the highest population.
Mm-hmm.
So how was it when you first moved here?
It was new. It was new. Definitely different than Charlotte. Definitely different than Baltimore. And I'm not really a club person, so I really don't have other gay male friends. So it's like it was really a culture change, you know, on top of that, and then trying to do what I do, it was like, okay, this is crazy. Dating was hard at first, but then it came to realize that everybody know about HIV, and everybody, I would say this, more people were aware of HIV and aware of, you might talk to a dude that has that, is HIV positive here.
Yeah.
So it was definitely like more inviting and welcoming, but still like, all right,
okay, yeah. What brought you to Atlanta though?
Media.
Okay.
I was like, Baltimore, it was good, but it was between Cali and Atlanta, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm ready for Cali yet. But yeah, definitely media brought me to Atlanta, and already have had partnerships and stuff built up from when I was in Charlotte, really being consistent.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, hey, I'm back. I know I was off the scene for a year, but I'm back. But I moved to Atlanta and jumped back in it. When I moved to Atlanta, it was actually during Super Bowl week, and that was good because I was busy.
Covering everything.
Yeah, so yeah, it was good. Atlanta was definitely a good move.
Because it's way more connections here than it is in Charlotte.
Definitely. Charlotte is still up and growing. But I still commend, y'all, they got hustlers too. The Carolinas, they birth hustlers.
True.
I know
You got any events or anything coming up?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually working on the new season of my talk show, which will this is I'm
Oh yeah,
I'm kind of
you ain't even tell them the name of the talk show.
Yeah, so it's Let's Talk with Genario Scott. I'm Genario Scott. And I'm working on a new season that is going to kick off the second quarter strong. Still working, still planning, still getting everything together. But this is definitely, everyone's going to see a different side of me and a different side of my brand. I'm taking a lot of things out, but I'm also replacing it with so much. A lot of my influencers that really that I've watched growing up, such as the Martell Show, Oprah,
Yep.
Rosie O'Donnell, when she had her show, even Jerry Springer, like those shows really impact me. So, and where I want to be as a media personality, talk show host, journalist, I feel like it's time for me to do some changes. So definitely I'm going to give you a teaser. So my new season, I'm sitting down with real people telling real stories. I'm going to still do celebrities from now, influencers from, every now and then. But I really want to get down and just sit down and have real conversations with real people. And I feel like that's really going to take me to where I want to go. And especially, again, studying the gurus. Like, I'm doing that. So definitely follow my IG, because IG and TikTok, y'all. I've been on TikTok for 3-4 days. So I'm new, but
hey, but people be going up on TikTok, so
for real,
stay consistent on them.
Yes, I'm trying. So far, I've been doing a video every day. Dropping different stuff on there.
That's what's up.
But I'm getting more into the HIV advocacy, and I'm just trying to. I'm utilizing my YouTube more to start monetizing and stuff.
Yeah.
So just make sure you follow my YouTube. So on all social media platforms, it's Genario. That's ITSJOHNERIO. Make sure y'all cop my book, which is in Barnes and Noble or Amazon. For all your creatives out there that's trying to get into blogging, vlogging, or even having, being a host, or podcasting, like, get my book. It's gonna help you out, because I got stuff in there that they don't teach you when you go to school for journalism or podcasting and stuff. So
make sure y'all go cop that.
Let me show y'all this book. Cop this book.
Okay.
Bam, bam, bam.
But this has been a great conversation. I appreciate you coming.
Yes.
And looking forward to maybe doing another episode in the future.
Always.
So thanks for tuning in to another episode of Split Image. See y'all next time.